Welcome to another episode of What to Do When. And today we're going to be talking about what to do when you can't see the audience. So before I start, I am assuming that you will have rehearsed, therefore you know already you can't see your audience before you step on stage in front of them. So I will talk about this loads in my videos about the importance of rehearsing, but it's worth touching on here because if you don't rehearse, then you don't know that you can't see your audience. And for a presenter, that can be pretty shocking when you stand on stage for the first time, the lights are in your eyes and you can see nothing but darkness. So make sure you rehearse. So we'll assume that you have done a rehearsal and you realize in your rehearsal that you can't see the audience. What do? Well, number one, focus on a point at the back of the room. Now, when you walk on stage, on a stage where you've got stage lights, you will pretty much feel that moment of being blinded. So you walk out on stage, normally from a dark area into a very well lit area, and you just can't see. It's just darkness. What you need to do is look straight to the back of the room. So pick a focal point at the back of the room, and what is weird is you might not even be able to see that focus point, but look to the back of the room. And if you can't see the audience, look to the back of the room at the start of your presentation. And as long as you're presenting out to the back of the room, that's great. You're not going to be able to obviously get eye contact with the audience because you can't see them. But as long as you're presenting to the back of the room, you're fine. Now, what you will find is you will typically be able to see the first row or two of audience. So after your eyes have adjusted to the light, you're looking at the back of the room, you can then look down towards the audience that you can see to get a bit more eye contact. So number one, look to the back of the room. And actually, it's worth saying at this point, I would assume all the time that you can't see the audience, especially if you're presenting at a conference or any event where there is a stage. Because typically if there's a stage, there are stage lights. So to be safe, assume you can't see them. Number two, ask the lighting designer to bring the house lights up. Now, I say lighting designer, it could just be a small event where you've got one technician. But in your rehearsal, if you really need to see the audience and you want to get some audience reaction, ask for the house lights to be turned up. So you could say to the technician, look, in my presentation, it's really important that I see the audience's faces. And they'll say, great, what we'll do when you come on stage is we'll just raise the lights in the room slightly. In your rehearsal, they'll get you to check that you're happy with that. Great, it's done. So you'll go on stage, the lights will raise, and you'll be able to see people. Sorted. And number three, walk out into the audience. So if you actually want to see the whites of their eyes and you want to interact with the audience, then walk to where they are seated. Now, to do this, you need to talk to the technical team. If you just decide to walk out into the audience, then chances are you won't be lit, so nobody will be able to see you. If there's live camera, all of a sudden people are looking at nothing on stage, and there may be interference with your microphone. So for many reasons, you must talk to the technical crew during your rehearsal about doing this one. But you can, as a presenter, walk out into the audience. So those are my 3 tips on what to do when you can't see the audience. Number one, look to the back of the room when you first go on stage, and then when your eyes adjust to the light, look to the first couple of rows of audience. Number 2, talk to the technician and ask for the lights in the room to be raised slightly so you can see the audience in their seats. And number 3, dare to walk out into the audience to see the whites of their eyes and interact with them direct. So I hope that was useful. As I said at the start, the safest thing to do is just assume that you cannot see your audience when you're on stage. Now, if there's anything that you would like me to address in the What to Do When series, just comment below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, here's a link to some more. Please do subscribe because I'll be uploading videos weekly.